I feel guilty playing video games at the end of the day when I haven't done everything that I know I need to do. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting there being a shitbag. I'm like, man, I haven't gone to the gym yet. I probably should write a little bit more. I still have laundry to do.
You're so disciplined, dude. Not
Fuck
me.
this. I just feel bad, man. But anyway, thank you very much for coming down.
Cool. Are we started?
Yeah, we'll start from right here.
Cool. Fuck yeah.
Thank you so much, man. I've been looking forward to this.
Hell yeah, dude.
You are, without a doubt, one of the funniest motherfuckers I've seen, period.
Thanks, dude.
Period.
Shit.
Like, you're definitely, I don't think there's really a question. You're one of, if not the best in the state.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, there's days. There's days. You know what I'm saying? I think there's like 4 of us who are, there's days. Like some days I fucking, but it's cool, man.
You, Buck, Steph, Zach.
Yeah,
I'm
honestly,
assuming, right?
yeah.
Yes.
If we have to throw a lady in there, Sarah Kennedy, she's a killer, but she runs a comedy club. She don't really get to go out and do sets as much, but man, she's hilarious. She's on the fly. Her quick, silly comedy is one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's awesome. Sarah Kennedy kills. Dry Heat's a cool little club.
It's a great club, man.
Have you been doing comedy? Or you? Okay, let's start. Just use a person, man. Are you born and raised here in New Mexico?
Yeah. I was born in Shiprock, New Mexico.
Okay.
I grew up in Farmington, but my mom lived here, so I would always flip-flop from like Albuquerque to Farmington, but she lived in the war zone, so
oh shit,
that's its own little. Yeah, we lived down there in the war zone, so I'd like do some school with her, then go back home, flip-flop. I did middle school down here, and then I went back to Farmington, and then my junior year I moved back down here. I graduated from Rio Grande.
No shit. And so how was comedy a part of like your upbringing? Were you watching a lot of stand up?
No, so like my mom's a single mom, you know what I'm saying? She dated a lot of guys, and one of her boyfriends she had, not a lot, doesn't make my mom sound like a whore. She's not. She's a nice lady, all right? She's a sweetheart. She saves lives. But no, like she had this one boyfriend where he had like a bunch of CDs, and like when I was like 12 years old or something, I would like go through his CDs and like listen to like different songs. So I didn't have music, but I had a CD player. And one of the CDs I found was like the Kings of Comedy CD. Oh shit! And he had like a burned copy of it, and I listened to it.
Was that like Bernie Mac?
Bernie Mac,
right?
Yeah, Steve, and it was insane. The Bernie Mac segment really took me with Cedric the Entertainer, all that, but the Bernie Mac one really stuck out. And I was like, this is great, because like you grow up like in a ghetto household, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of what he was talking about like crazy, because my mom used to babysit some badass kids. And I was like, man, I wish I could hit these kids. But I was like little too, but when he was like, man, fuck these kids, and it just really stuck with me. So I stole that CD, and even after they broke up, I was like, yo, it's like a fucking 50-page CD case. You're not gonna notice one CD missing. And I kept that, and I listened to it so much until it died. And then like,
so you were burning tracks into that CD. You were listening to it
so much, dude. And then my nephew had like discovered LimeWire because he's real good with computers and shit. So he discovered LimeWire, and I was like, yo, let's see what we can bring up for comedy. It was like Chris Rock and Dane Cook, and that's when Dane Cook like really took off. And
was that like the Vicious Circle era?
A little before that, yeah.
Is that what his album was called? Vicious Circle.
Vicious Circle. That was like his special, his DVD special. I had all of them, dude. But like, yeah, we would burn like just like comedy bits and stuff, and I just had like mixed CDs of like comedy. But in my head, I was like, this is something you could never do. There's none of that here. And then when I went back to Farmington, I remember we went on like this field trip, and the kids in the back were like listening to like Dan. He's blew up at the time, like Dan Cook, and they're like, listen to this, and they're just having like kids laughing. I'm like, this is so crazy to me, dude. This is why people are just talking and making people laugh. And I was like, I want to do that. But it's like one of those things, like, how do you get into it? Can you even get into it? And then I would just buy like Cat Williams DVDs. I would go to Walmart and buy like DVDs of like comedy specials, and I had a bunch of them, and I would watch them. I'm like, this is so insane, dude.
That's a crazy guy to really get, because I listened to Dane Cook as well when he was. I think everyone did. When he was blowing up, he was insane. And it's funny. I was maybe like a month ago. I was going through HBO, and they had Vicious Circles. Like, I'm gonna throw this on. I haven't seen this in over 10 years easily. And that guy was so fucking famous back then that insane. The first like 20 minutes of that special is him just walking around in a circle on that platform and just saying like 8 words. Eruption. I'm starting to lie again. Yeah. Boom. And just everyone's just exposed with laughter.
There's only a few like once in generation comedy. Like Eddie Murphy was like that. Yeah. Like the Delirious era. I think the Kings of Comedy were sort of like that as well. But Dane Cook was like the first social media like rock star comedian.
He took MySpace and ran with it.
Yeah. And then nowadays you get like the whole like Kevin Hart's and stuff like that. It's just insane to see people do that.
I'm proud to announce that the podcast is now officially sponsored by the fine people over at Chop Chili Company. Guys, this is some of the best chili you can get here in the state of New Mexico, and they are online as well as in stores. They can be found at Smith's, Albertsons, Sprouts, John Brooks, and Lowe's Corner Market. They have 3 amazing flavors that you see here, and they also have frozen green chili that you can get online. Go on over to the website, chopchilico.com, and get yourself some amazing chili today.
But yeah, I was just always into that, man. I didn't think that was something like I could do. I was like, oh, I want to do that. But, you know, and I have 3 older brothers who are all crazy. You know, you grow up in the war zone. You're around nuttiness always, dude. Yes. So, yeah, I'm barely starting to be able to tell some of these stories on stage. Like I told one at Bourbon and Boots, and that's a fucking wild show. Bourbon and Boots. I don't know if you've ever been down there.
I have not been able to see comedy down there yet.
Oh, dude, it's madness. And I told the story about my mom's transgender friend. Yeah.
I think I've heard you do that bit too.
Okay.
Dude,
all right, yeah.
That's you came up briefly when I had Buck on last. And we were talking. I was like, I was picking his brain a little bit about writing and confidence on stage, stuff like that. And the reason I brought you up was like some of your concepts. Like I don't want to say your bit, but you have the end of it is you holding a wig and you take the fucking you take the mic cord and you lasso it around. And I brought that up because I was like, man, like if you were to write it down, it's some of the most stupid shit. But the way you deliver it, your confidence behind it, the execution makes it fucking gold.
And it's a unique. Somebody told me, and it's a sex joke. So if you haven't come to a show, no, I'll tell it. It's usually one of my closers, but it's a sex joke, and like sex jokes, whatever. A lot of comics don't like them, but this comedian in Denver told me one time, she's like, I hate sex jokes. But I like when you tell them because it's a different take on them. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, just on paper it is dumb as fuck. Like my girl likes to get tied up, and I'm like, oh, I used to, do cattle work. It's dumb. Such a dumb. Even talking about it without setting it up sounds stupid. Yeah. I'm like, I tie my girl up like a fucking calf at a rodeo.
I think it's fucking hilarious.
But like the setup is it's dumb. And
so how old were you when you started looking at comedy? Like I actually want to try this. Like I'm gonna find a way to do it.
I graduated high school. And then I moved to Phoenix, and I became homeless in Phoenix for a while. And then I moved back. And then I got this job.
How long were you in Phoenix for?
Like a year and a half. I think, and for like maybe like 5 of the last months I was there, I was like living in my car in Walmart. But then like I moved back home, and I was like, well, what the fuck am I going to do? So my brother got me a job at this fencing company. So I might have been like maybe like 19, 20 years old. And like this job sucked. Like fencing sucks, and they only hired me because I'm native, so they could get contracts like on the reservation. And so like that's literally like one of the stipulations. Like you have to have a native on your crew.
Oh my god!
So the guy was like, "All right, we'll hire you on and like mix concrete and dig holes." It was horrible.
Oh,
so we're doing like all these like industrial jobs where it's like miles of fence line, and so like they would like mark it off, and then like, all right, you start here and just dig all these holes, and then so I was just out there by myself. And that's sort of when I like discovered like podcasting and shit like that. And so I was like,
and what year was this?
Probably like 2010, maybe 2011. Okay. Yeah, about 2011. Yes.
So this is like in the genesis of podcasting.
Yeah, like 2011. And I discovered Joe Rogan's podcast, and I remember I had to go to like YouTube to MP3 to download it.
Oh, you just brought back a memory, bro. I was too scared to use LimeWire because I've seen all my homies do it, and they fucked up their computers. So I was like, I know that if I fuck up the family computer, I'm dead. Like they won't find the body. I'll be dead. So I used YouTube to MP3 converter for albums. Just one at a time.
I would look up the track listing and just find the song. And some of the quality, it would be like great quality and then not so great quality, and then great quality. Yeah, dude. So, and I remember it took forever because the podcast is 3 hours long. So I like download it, and it would just take forever. And I was like, oh man. And I was like, if I could download like 4 of these, I could cover my entire day.
Yeah.
And just listening. And then I would like from the Rogan thing, I found like, you know, like the Ice House Chronicles, and the Ice House Chronicles really stuck with me because like it was like a podcast where like they just hung out in the green room and they would podcast in the green room, and it really felt like a hangout. It's like I would just be in the middle of the reservation digging holes for fence line, and while these comics were like hanging out, and I felt like I'm there, and I was like, dude, this is so dope. I want to do this. And they would just talk shit and bullshit, and it was like a lot, like me and my brother, you know, it felt like you bullshit with your homies and stuff. So I don't know, I really got drawn to that, and I worked at that job until they didn't need me anymore, and I kind of got fired, and I was kind of just like, man,
hey, the contract of the reservation's done.
Yeah, dude, they like
we don't need them. Jeez, ruthless.
They fired me. Well, they gave me the option to quit because he's like, I'm not gonna be able to put you on any jobs for like months. So that was his way of saying you need to quit.
Yeah, how fucking
so he didn't have to pay unemployment, and I didn't know at the time, but I should have stuck through it. God damn it. Anyway, so after that, I was just kind of like bumming it again. And me and my brother used to go play like pool a lot. We loved to play pool. And my brother, like I said, he's grew up in Albuquerque as well, and he's like a fucking like hothead full. You know what I'm saying? So like we're back in this little country town, and we'd go to pool halls, and like these little hick rednecks would like look at him. So we would get into a whole lot of fights, and we got banned from like 4 of the pool halls in Farmington.
Oh Jesus!
Because he was fighting, and I was like, well, that's my brother, so I gotta bang too.
Right, you gotta throw down.
Yeah. So like, all right, we're just gonna and we got banned from all these like pool halls in Farmington, and we're like, man, we want to play pool one day. And somebody was like, you know, the strip club up on the hill. They have pool tables, and we're like, fuck, man, like, we might as well go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got to shoot the 8 ball on the chick's pussy, but hey, they got pool.
And this club was, if you know Farmington, dude, Farmington is like a like super Christian town. It's like conservative. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Trump country. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird because like the neighboring town, it's like Farmington's like the central town. There's Aztec, Bloomfield, and Kirtland, and they all surround Farmington.
Yeah, see, I've only driven through Farmington. Yeah.
And so like we lived in Kirtland, but like there's like a 300-yard distance between like Farmington and Kirtland. It's like in the county. It's out of the city between the two cities. In between that area is a strip club. It's just literally on the hill. That's the only way they could build this club. They can't build it in city limits.
Right.
So, and it was just like some old rule, like, oh, the city lines, there was like a strip of area on top of this hill that didn't overlap, and so that's where they built this strip club. And it was literally just a house that was hollowed out, and that was the strip club. And it was a pink building, and it went through different names, and people in that area know it, you know, like Foxtails, Taboo, the Club, yeah. And then it went back to Foxtails. It was just a rowdy, wily place, dude. So like we would go up there and like, man, and we went up there to play pool, and we would go like every weekend playing pool. And the owner sort of got like kind of knew us and shit. And one day we were there, we had like this big old brawl breakout between like these red like oil field fools and like these SA dudes. And me and my brother went and like kind of like broke it up a little bit, I guess. And the owner was like, hey, you guys are pretty cool. I see you in here every weekend. I can't pay you, but I need bouncers. So he's like, she was like, oh, it was a lady who ran it. Her name was Jewel. She's like, I'll let you play for free on the pool table if you just bounce and watch out.
If you potentially risk your life.
Yeah.
You
and
get some free pool games out of it.
We get to play because it was like $1 a game, dude.
Right.
So like, all right, cool, we'll play. And we would go up there every weekend and just play pool. And every now and again, like, hey, boy, you got to chill out. So then from there, I went to, I got promoted from bouncer to DJ because the DJ they had was like hooking up with one of the dancers, and there would be nights where it would be busy, and he would like be arguing with his girlfriend.
Oh, Jesus!
And they would be outside, and there would just be nobody in the building, and then the owner was like, I need a new DJ, and they tried out a bunch of people. She's like, why don't you just do it? And I was like, I've never gotten on the microphone before, and I had the worst like DJ, like, welcome up to the stage. Oh, give it up for Destiny, you know. It was fucking. It was.
How old are you at this point?
Let's see. That was in 2012. I started working there, so I was maybe like 20, 21. I had just maybe turned 21 because I remember we were going to the strip club, but I couldn't go to the casino afterwards because I wasn't 21 yet. Because there's a casino kind of catty corner on the other side of the river that we would go afterwards. But then like I'd start DJing, you know, and this one old man, he passed away. He was like a DJ for like 40 years at strip clubs, and he kind of like just, you know, do the deep voice, and it's universal. You can go anywhere. The shitty, hacky, like, alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, you know.
Yeah.
And so I started to do that, and then nights he would just like, here, you take over. and then I would just be DJ for the strip club for like 2 hours. And then I kind of went on from there. And then he left, and there was no DJ, so I became like head DJ in like a year or so. And so I was just me DJing on the weekends. But that job sucked. Everyone's like, yo, like you worked at a strip club? That's dope. No, that shit sucked, dude. It was like babysitting adults. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like the same shit you tell like little kids, you tell like these grown adults, like, don't touch that. Keep your hands to yourself. Get that out of your mouth, you sicko. You don't know where that's been. What the fuck's wrong with you? It was bad, dude. You know.
You don't know where that's been.
Dude. So get out of
you don't know where it's been, but I see where it goes from
get that
10 at night to 6 in the morning.
You motherfuckers, dude. So like it was all, but like, so I would sit in the DJ booth, right? And then I don't know, I was still listening to those podcasts and like, you gotta write every day. You gotta write. You want to do comedy? You gotta write. But in my head, I was like, there's no comedy clubs. There's nothing. I remember hearing of Laughs when I was in high school at Rio Grande, but then it shut down like when I graduated, so I never got to go. And so I would just I bought this little like pocket notebook, and I would sit there and I would, like when it was busy, I had a little like light behind my DJ booth. So I was like, all right, we got Destiny on for 2 songs, boom, and that's how you do to be DJ, play music, adjust the sounds every now and again, shut the mic off, and I would just sit there and I was like, this job sucks, dude. And I would just write like, this job sucks so bad, blah blah blah. I would write like these like dumb jokes about the strip club, you know. Before you know it, I had like 6 pages of like bits, like I thought were jokes and shit. I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm a comedian. This is fucking sick, dude. I'm doing it." And I would like while I was working, I would listen to these podcasts of like guys being like, "I fucking bombed, da 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 da," and I was like, "Oh," and then I would like run like hacky one-liners on the microphone, like, "Alrighty, stage." I don't remember. Like I had to rhyme. I remember those like. Stage guys where you want to be, gentlemen. Throw some greenery on the scenery, like shit like that. Yeah. Like, so when I became like general manager of the whole place,
so you went from really unpaid bouncer to part-time DJ, head DJ, and now general manager.
Because the owner was she drank a lot, so she was like wino lady. So she, like there would be times where I was like, just sit in your office and I'll take care of everything. I did the ATM. I had to go do the deposits and get money. I sent people on errands to go get. We didn't have a heater, so like we had to get propane bottles and like this NFL.
So you sent on errands to go get weed. Like damn, okay.
Yeah, dude. No, so. I became the general, and part of the duties was opening up the club. So I would get there at like 4:00 in the afternoon and open the doors and vacuum and clean all the tables and the pole and everything else, right? And I would get there at 4 in the afternoon, and there would already be people there. And I was like, what? And it was just these old geriatric men who like got out from the home for the day, and they would come over. And I'm like, hey, bro, I'm sorry, I don't got no girls yet. I said, I probably won't even have girls till like 6:00. And they're like, that's fine, we'll wait. And it was just like, and we had like a privacy fence around our whole property, so like they would just park there and wait. So I'd like, and then I felt bad, so I was like, just come sit inside, dude. But you have to pay cover. It's because they were just sitting in their cars. And I was like, well, come sit inside, dude. So they would come, and it would just be like these, 6 old men sitting there, and I'd be vacuuming and shit. And it's happened quite a bit. Before the first girl would come up, I would like call girls like, hey, dude, we have like 3 guys here. Can you please just get her earlier? Like, she's like, all right, cool. And one girl would show up. One girl like that was her hustle. She would show up early as shit just so she could talk to these 6 guys, and they would pay her, and she would make all the money before anyone else would.
That's a smart business.
Yeah. She would show up and basically just milk these 6 guys before any other girl. She would make her money for the night. But there was like a couple nights where I was like, man, these guys are just sitting here listening to music. And I told them, I was like, look, one day I was like, I'll let you guys in for free. You don't have to pay cover, but you have to like listen to me tell jokes on stage.
Oh shit!
And they were like, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, cool. And I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, I've never done this before, but let me, because it's just me and these 6 dudes. I kind of know them all by name. They're basically friends, Yeah. And so like I would like flick on all the stage lights, and after I got done like vacuuming and cleaning, I was just like, all righty, come to the stage, Josh Fournier, and then I would like play a song and then like stop playing it and run on stage. It was so fucking dumb, dude.
That's awesome. What the fuck?
And I read on stage, and I was just like, alrighty, what's up, guys? How you doing? And I just I was so bad, dude. And I would like run these like dumb bits about the club that I wrote, and I was essentially performing for people I paid to laugh. Because I was like, I'm going to judge how I do based off and they laughed at it was like Dane Cook. I was like Dane Cook. They laughed at like setups, dude. I was like, I tied my shoe today. And they're like, these old man, dude. It's like, this is insane. We're getting comedy and titties. This is wild, dude. And I did that like 3 times. And then after my 3rd time, I was like, oh crap. My brother helped me on. He would like play music, and like I would walk up to music and then he would turn it down. And he was the greatest laugh. He's basically a one-man laugh track. And so like after like the 3rd time of doing this, I started telling people, I was like, I'm a comedian now. And one of my buddies, we're still friends to this day. He was the bartender for like this local bar in Farmington. And he started dating one of the dancers. So he would come up, and I knew he worked there and shit. And like I started telling him, I was like, yeah, man, I do comedy now. Like, I'm a comedian, dude. He's like, you do comedy? And I was like, yeah. And he's like,
so how long did this carry on for?
Like a year and a half.
Of you getting...
Oh, okay, no.
Of you getting in front of these guys until you talked to your buddy that was running this
it was
bar.
like 3 weeks.
3 weeks of it? Nice.
I did it like 1 week the first weekend. The next weekend I did it once. And then the 3rd weekend I did it once. And that night he came over and I was like, dude, I'm a comedian now. I do comedy. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, dude. And I crushed, dude. And I was just using terms I heard on this podcast. I was like, dude, my set is strong, dude. I crushed, dude. I killed it, dude. I kill. And then he was like, oh, really? And he's like, how long have you been doing it? I was like, a while now. And he was like, tell you what, man. He's like, we need entertainment between bands. Do you want to come do comedy at like the bar club? And it's like the place to be. Like, this is where Anthrax performed. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I didn't know that between band changes is like 40 minutes, 30 minutes. And so like this country band would pack out this room, and then they would be like, alrighty, they would thank you so much for coming out. They would get off stage, and then he was like, all right, we're going to have comedian Josh Fournier come up and tell you jokes in between band changes. So like I would go up. He played like the Imperial Death March theme song. And I went on stage at this country bar, and these people, they had a dance floor, and it emptied out so quickly.
Oh, no.
It was full, dude. I went on stage, and I was like, what's up, everybody? And everyone's like, fuck you, and left. And it was just this empty dance floor. I was like, all right, man, yeah, this is cool to be here. I work at the strip club, and it's a small town, and everyone knows the strip club. So this audience was like, man, fuck you, fuck Taboo, man, fuck Foxtails. And it turned into basically just heckling me. I had no material. I thought I had material, but I was just, again, I paid those dudes to basically laugh at me.
Yeah.
I had no material, and I was just like, oh, yeah, working at the strip club is crazy. They're like, fuck Taboo, man. Fuck that place. You suck. It turned into like a bad like roast session. And then the next time I went, he's like, you want to do it again? I was like, yeah, I'll do it again. I did it the next week. I went back. And
so what did that first show, as much as you can remember from it, what was that initial experience like? Because you went in front of the most unfriendly crowd, it sounds like. Yeah. You basically, like, you lived every person's ever thought, oh, maybe I could do comedy. And then your brain floods with all the horrible things that could happen. You experienced 90% of them.
Luckily, those podcasts were like, yo, you have to bomb. Everyone's like, you got to bomb. You got to bomb. You got to eat a dick on stage. And in my head, I was like, this is me bombing. This is my bomb.
So you took it like a rite of passage.
Yeah,
this is my turn of endearment.
Bombing, dude. This feels good.
All the greats went through this.
I was a glutton for pain, dude.
Yeah.
This is how much I loved comedy, dude. I was bombing in front of these rednecks. And then the next week I went back. I went up and again, thank you so much for coming out. The band would leave and I'd go on stage. The Imperial Death March, dude. Second week in a row. I was like, what's up, everybody? I work at the strip club. Fuck the strip club. No, fuck you, bitch. You look like, and then it turned into me basically roasting hecklers.
Oh, shit.
Like, you drunk or what? You drinking? Damn, dude, that's like where my first like real roast came from, was like, you drinking? Man, you're drunk as fuck. You need to slow. That's crazy when a native tells you need to slow down and drinking. You might have a problem. And I was like, you hate me, I hate you, whatever, but you drive home. Drive home, please. Drive home tonight. Have 4 more shots and drive home. I want you to die. And people were like, holy shit, dude. I want you to die. So, well, let me leave first, and then you drive home and die over there in Aztec where you belong. And I was just like talking so much shit to these people. And that's when they were like, oh, we like this guy because he just comes in here and talks shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was just... That's all me and my brother did anyway, was talk shit. So I was just talking shit. Like, look at you, you sister. Is that your wife or your fucking horse you rode in on? You piece of, like, because it was a country town, dude. I was saying wily shit, dude. Oh, and people would get mad. Like, people threw bottles, but everyone else was like laughing, like, It turned into just me roasting the shit out of these dudes, right? And then I did that show twice. And then I just kind of stopped going because they didn't have any bands for a couple weeks. And then I remember I'm going to go to New York and do this. And I flew to New York for this Iron Maiden concert with me and one of my high school friends. And we went to see Iron Maiden in New York City. I remember I went to an open mic at like 1:30 in the morning. And I bombed so hard, like soul crushing. Like bombing in front of the rednecks was one thing. So like whatever, it's not even. But to bomb at a comedy club, bro. I
was gonna say now you're in a real comedy city.
I went on at like almost 2 a.m. You
remember what club it was? Was it like anything?
I don't think it's around anymore.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I bombed so hard, and it was soul crushing. Where like I came back home and I was like, I'm never gonna do comedy again. That sucked, man. I do suck. I can't be funny without shit talk. I didn't know that's what you could do is shit talk and be funny. But I was like, I can't even write jokes, dude. And I had like a notebook full of like these jokes I'd written. And so I went back to Farmington and I worked at the club and I didn't do comedy for a while, like for a long time. And we kept that club going for like 2 more years and then it burnt down.
That's not funny, but
yeah, dude, it burnt down. And it's a lot went into that, but it burnt down. And then I was just like, man, I got nothing. I got no education, really. I have no job. The one job I had, and I was making so much money at that. Like, we would go make a lot of money, and then afterwards go gamble at the casino. And if we lost it all, I was like, whatever, we'll just make more tomorrow. You know, it was a wild place. And after that, I was just like, well, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. And as like dumb and gay as it sounds, I went to a Kevin Smith. The guy like Silent Bob. I went to Kevin. So he was in Durango, and I drove up to see him. And he gave this talk where he was like, "Just take this next year and do what you love. Don't tell anybody."
I would love to see that. He's a great public speaker.
He's insane.
I would love to see him live.
And I still have it on my phone. It's like my earliest thing on my phone is like him being like, "I just want." And I happen to like, I don't. You don't film in those things, but like I was just like, I'm gonna film, and I just happened to capture this like 1.5 minute long speech of like him and be like, "Just take this next year, do what you want." Something you want to do it. I'm not talking to you. If you want to go hurt people and shoot up schools, that's not what I'm saying. But I just want you to take this next year, do what you want to do. Because I know everyone in here wants a passion. Everyone in here wants something they want to do. So take this next year. Don't tell anybody. Don't post about it. Just do what you want to do. Try it out. Find out how to do it and do it. And then I'm going to come back in a year and I want to see how you've done. And I was just like, I'm going to do comedy. And so like I left Farmington and I moved down here with my nephew and his mom's ex-girlfriend. And we lived right here back in the South Valley, and and she was like super supportive of it. She's like, I want you to do this, and I want you to like try it, like for real, try this. And so like I looked up Albuquerque comedy open mics, and I just seen that there was a bunch of open mics that were happening, and that's like I started going like every day, and that's how it sort of started, I guess.
And what year was this?
2015, 2016. So around shit. That. Yeah.
What was the comedy scene like back then?
Oh, bro, it sucked. It was awful. There really was no scene. There was like some old heads who were like doing it. Like every comedian has like a class. And like when I started, the class above me, I mean, they were cool. Like they ran open mics and shit. But like whenever we started getting good, it was like they were kind of mean. They were like not supportive. They were sort of like gatekeeping. It was very cliquey and shit. And I didn't really get down with that. The day I started comedy, I went to my first open mic and did it. And it was so funny because in the audience that night was Zach Abeda. And then the next night, he started comedy open mics.
Oh, shit.
So we literally started like a day apart from each other. And so he started going because he went to go watch and see what the open mic was. And then I went on stage and he said he remembers seeing me. And the next night he started and we started doing and then like the fourth time, like I said, these guys were so mean, like not like, hey, good shit. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. None of that. It was just like, all right, next, you know. There was no friendship or nothing. And like, I think we both kind of felt that. So like Zach was like the first, I went up to Zach and I went to him and I was like, hey man, you're really funny, dude. And he's like, yeah, you're really hilarious too. And then, you know, you start seeing each other every day and that's how we became friends. It's just because like, man, like this dude, they don't ever fucking put us on shows. And there were shows happening. It's just they would never put us on them.
Where were the open mics happening back then? Now I feel like post-COVID, a lot of venues, a lot of breweries are putting on open mics. They're just showing out for entertainers in general.
Yeah.
To get live things happening post-COVID.
It's a cool little hustle and it works out for both people, especially like for breweries, because if a comedian can go to a brewery and be like, hey, what's your slow night? Tuesday, cool. If I can bring 10 people in here,
right,
and each of those 10 people buy 2 drinks, like that's already way better than what you would have done anyway.
You might even double your sales at that point.
Double your sales. So it's a cool little hustle to like put on an open mic. It's just so fucking soul crushing to do open mics. But anyway, so like the one I went to was a Red Door Brewery, which it used to be down on Gold Street.
Right.
So I went to that one, and I remember I walked up and I was just walking back and forth because I was all scared to go in. And I went into that one. And then the next one was at Monk's Brewery, which was on Silver and I think 3rd Street. And that's when Zach started at. And then I know on Fridays and Saturdays, they usually did like showcases. Mondays was Back Alley Draft House, which is now like NYC Pizza. On,
yeah.
On like 2nd Street. But it was like a back alley back there is where they did comedy open mics. And then Tuesday, where the fuck was Tuesday's mic at? Shit, I don't remember. But Wednesdays was the Red Door mic. So it was like back alley, something, Red Door, Monk's Brewery. And then sometimes you would do like 2 in a night. You would go to like 2 different places. But yeah, and I went every single day. And I started to feel like we were getting funny and nobody would book us on shows. Like these older guys above us were just like so not cool and like not having it. And like thankfully, like Zach Abeda, he's a hustler. So like that fool, like, fuck it. If they won't fuck with us, I'll just start making my own shit. So he would start, he put on his first show. He got a contract at like Canteen Brew House and started running his own monthly show, and it became like super successful because he comes from like that b-boy world where like you have to flyer, the hip hop world where you flyer everywhere, like old school, like just foot on the ground, flyer handing it. So like when he started booking me, like we started doing the show, like we would go downtown and search like flyer. No, so we go to open mics and flyer.
That's sick.
And thanks to his hustle, I mean, that dude was like, that's why he's crushing it right now. It's because he's such a hustler. You know what I'm saying? And we started kind of like doing good. We started getting like there were nights like where there was no open mic, but where's there? Oh, Durango, Colorado has an open mic. It's 3 hours away. I was like, I know where that's at. That's an hour from Farmington. And I was like, we can, if you want to drive, we'll go. Let's just fucking go. So like me and him would drive out to Durango and crush it. And the open mics there were insane. They were like real showcases. There was like 80 people at this open mic.
Holy fuck.
So and then because we're out of town, they were like, yeah, you guys can do longer. Like we don't want you to drive up here for 5 minutes. So we were basically like featuring like a year into comedy. Like so we were like featuring for like 80 people, and it's like it was insane how like strong the Durango open mic was. Like because they had like 5 comedians.
Well, not only that, but they were a lot more opening. A lot more like open, a lot more welcoming to you guys.
That's what Durango is, though. You know what I'm saying? They're into that. It's very, very progressive. So like we would go and it's like, holy shit! Like our open mics was like 6 people, maybe 13 people at the most. You're like, oh fuck! But up there it's literally like packed. Like this little place called I think it was called the Irish Bean. It was like this coffee shop, and there was just people wall to wall. And so we would go down there and do comedy for like 80 people stuffed in this like little basement. And yeah, my first paying gig was in Durango. Yeah, dude, and from there it just got like we started getting booked. We started reaching out to different places, and that's how we kind of like started going on the road, I guess. And then it got to the point where those older heads above us were starting like, hey, can you book us? And we're like, no, fuck you. You never booked us, man. You never put us on any shows.
So how far into it did you feel like not only you had momentum, but it was, okay, if I'm going to do this is going to take a real strong work ethic. This is going to take like actual hustle, like you were saying earlier, to make this a thing for myself.
I would say like maybe 2 years in.
Like,
honestly.
Is that when it transitioned from like not that it ever started as a hobby, but it started as like, okay, I love doing this. I want to keep at it, see where it goes, to like, oh, this is going somewhere.
I think it took. Oh, let's see. I don't know. I never planned on making money doing this. I just loved it so much. You know what I'm saying? So I think it took like 2 years of going like every day before I considered myself good. You know what I'm saying? Where I was getting laughs consistently and I could figure out joke structure and timing. So it was like 2 years of just figuring that out. And then once that happened is when we started reaching out to other places. Because that was always the goal, is to like do this full time. But I didn't care if I made any money. I just want to make sure I get fed and stuff. And that's so bad to say, because now like some places that's all they give you is food. We'll pay you in a meal. Like, all right, yeah. Back then it was cool, but now I was like, no, you got to pay me, dude. I'm not trying to do this for free.
So I was going to bring that up a little earlier, but the idea, the mantra of, you're getting paid an experience.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, back then, it's cool, but nowadays, like, no, you can't do that shit to me. I don't know. I what's the question?
So, because I've heard that a lot, and I'm not, like...
I'll pay you an exposure.
An exposure. Exactly, thank you, exposure. I'll pay you an exposure, or like, hey, you're getting a spot at a venue, that's your payment, right? Whether they say it to you directly or not. I just want your opinion on that, and then also, when should people... So let's say they do a showcase, like here in Albuquerque, they'll do like a show at a brewery, or a show at maybe like Inside Out holds something or whatever it is, and there's like an actual flyer for it. There's a lineup, all that, and regardless of experience, if it's a show, should everyone on that lineup be getting paid regardless of their experience, regardless of their ability and skill, or is it something you have to earn? Because it's different for like entertainment and art. I mean, you show up to a job, you clock in, whether it's your first day or your 10th anniversary, you're going to get paid because you're spending your time to do that job. Yeah. But with something like comedy, where it's the everything you've put into it outside of the however much time you have on stage. I mean, yes, that matters, but also with the product you bring as that first person on the bill, it's probably not going to bring the same amount of product as the fucking headliner.
Yeah. Headliners usually get paid more, but like my thing is like more like...
Well, paid in general, I guess.
Yeah. My thing more is like, if you're on the show and people are paying money, like you fucking be funny, dude. Yeah. You better be funny, dude, because like you make everyone else look bad when you're not funny. Yeah. And like if especially if people are paying a cover, like a ticket to go see the show, if the opener ain't funny, if the feature ain't funny, if the middle guy ain't funny, it just sets the headliner up for a rough time, man. And so like the first 2 years we couldn't take shows, but the first 2, maybe even 3 years, we didn't get put on shows, not only because we couldn't get booked, but because a lot of the times we were like, man, I don't think we're good enough to be on a show yet. Yeah. I remember our first couple of book shows were like $10. Fuck, I'm not worth $10. Jeez, I don't know if I should do this show. And I've been like, I'll do the next one. Next month I'll do it. And not because I was like scared or anything, because I'm like, man, I'm not sure if I'm ready for like people to see me pay money to see me. You know what I'm saying? And like nowadays, I mean, it's cool because now the comedy scene is booming and like kids, like younger cats are getting more experience to like jump on shows with like good headliners. But at the same time, like sometimes I look at some of these open micers, I'm like, bro, you're not ready for like a show yet. You shouldn't be on it. And you should be honest with yourself. That's how you should really be. Like,
and I had that same thought because I've barely dabbled my toes in stand-up. Barely, like I'm very like, I don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the only reason I accepted the 2 shows that I did is because they were free. Yeah. They were free shows. You show up, they're at a brewery where you can walk in, walk out. Yeah. It was like and I love A-Marie to death. Love her to death. She's become a friend of mine. But like I look at that show and I was like it's a show. She puts her fucking heart into it. Yeah. But it's like it's a free show and half the people there are just there to eat food. Like the last one we did like 2 weeks ago.
How did that go?
Well, dude. Okay. Like it was funny. So she gets up there and she goes, "All right, thank you all for coming by. We're gonna be starting comedy in 10 minutes." And there's a table in the middle of like a family eating, right? Full family. And the minute you said we're doing comedy, like 3 of them turned around like what the fuck? Yeah, dude. Like, what are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. And as I looked at that, I didn't obviously equate that to like a open mic or anything, but I was like, okay, well, half these fucks don't want to be here anyway. And if I bomb in front of these people, thank God they didn't pay money. Yeah. And I kind of took, because I started getting into podcasts a little bit later than you did, but I listened to the same ones. It was all comedy podcasts, and it was all like people that were in comedy doing the thing, and that's what helped me fall in love with it too. And they're just saying like stories about bombing, stories about doing fucking comedy shows in Chinese restaurants, and like half the audience, if you're doing it at a restaurant, half the people don't want to fucking be there. The other quarter fucking don't care what you're doing, and then there's maybe 5 or 4 people that are like, hey, comedy. I like comedy. Yeah. Let's pay attention to the micer. So anyway, I did not do well. I got a couple of laughs, like, but it was like a roller coaster that
guerrilla warfaring unsuspecting people
that just mostly sank, and then it would take up and then sink for the most part. And I got like 2 or 3 like laughs out of it. But I gotta say, man, I fucking loved it.
It was so much fun, dude.
I fucking loved it. And I was very much like I heard you talking about it when you went on the BS show last, where you would go to a show and you're kind of off to yourself, you're preparing mentally, that type of shit. I'm that, like, I felt bad because I had a few friends with me. I was like, you don't want to be around me when I was like trying to like mentally prepare myself for that. I was just trying to get like remember my fucking material. Yeah. But it was a lot of fun, man. And I saw that and I was like, man, like I fucking suck. And I'm going to continue to suck. But that's okay, because maybe one day I can get better.
I did this shit for 2 years, bombing every day before I kind of got good. But other than that, how was the show? Was the show good?
The show was fun, man. We had one comedian that she had that was coming in from New York. That was a friend of hers. I forget the guy's name. He had dropped out like an hour before it started. So she ended up doing. She only planned on doing like 5 or 6 minutes because she's the fucking host.
Yeah.
And so she ended up doing like 20, and then I ended up doing 10 minutes, and then Corey Herrera was the headliner, and he did like 25, I think. And it wasn't. I'll be honest. I think he had a pretty decent set. It was good.
He's getting better. I'll give him that.
But the first one that I did, I was nervous as fuck. I was just my first show, but I had to follow Black Mike, and then Steph was the fucking headliner.
Yeah, Black Mike's a killer.
Yeah, and I think that first show I did better on that one. I also had a lot less time. Granted, I wasn't good. Yeah. But that was I think it was beginner's luck.
Which show was this? That 5 or 3?
At 377.
377? All right, yeah, dude. When I did that show, me and Zach did it actually. Did he go before me or after me? I think he went after me, but we had some drunk ass ladies like heckle me.
Oh shit!
During the show and whatever, I've dealt with it. Just drunk dumb ladies. Like I was wearing like an Indian motorcycle shirt, obviously. And she's like, "Your shirt says Indian, and you're an Indian." I was like, "Yeah, that's sort of the joke of why I chose this fucking shirt." Oh, okay, yeah, I get it though. And I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" And there was some lady in the audience who was like a comedy fan. She's like, "Shut the fuck up!" And I was like, "Yeah, this is crazy." Anyway, she was just kind of ignoring me, and I saw she was too drunk for me to even like try to make anything funny out of this.
To go back and forth and like banter. So I was like, all right,
cool. So I did my set, I think, and after the show. She came up to me. She's like, "You're really funny." I was like, "Really? You didn't pay attention? That's cool. I appreciate it. Though. You didn't pay attention." And that chick came up and she's like, "Yeah, you're a fucking rude ass bitch." Like straight up. And I was like, "Whoa."
You got an anger translator, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. She's like, "You're a rude ass bitch." And she's like, "Who the fuck are you talking? You. When people are talking, you shut the fuck up and listen." And I'm trying to listen to you. And like they legit started fighting. Like fuck you, no, fuck you. Bam, pushing. And I was like, "Oh shit." And I backed up. And we had a tip jar for the tip, and there was money in it. And I walked up and then I was like, "Wait, the tip jar." I ran back in, and they were legit like, "I'll fucking kill you," like pushing and shoving, like trying to grab hair, like throwing blows. And I went through that. I grabbed the tip jar and I'm like, "Make sure the money's fine." And I ran back out. And I was like, "Dude, this is a wily show."
Oh my god!
I haven't been back, but yeah, that lady left after because I was like, "Yeah, dumb bitch." And that girl, she was a rowdy ass chick. She's like, "Yeah, I just hate people who talk, man. I'm just trying to enjoy comedy. I hate people who talk." And I was like, "Yeah, this is Albuquerque bitch, dude, for real."
Fuck yeah,
that's what's up, dude.
That's hilarious.
Albuquerque comedy is so weird, dude. Like we did another show where it was a show for DJ Animal, who's like the Wild Kiss 97.3 host.
Yeah.
And so he has like a little bit of celebrity. He has a lot of pull. So he was doing this free show over at Craft Republic, like this upstairs area, right? And he brings people because he's on the radio. So he used to do this little show not too long ago, and I did it. And it normally I'm down to like I'm saying like people start acting crazy, I'll kick you. I'm down to bang too. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't scared, but I had got a vasectomy that day, so I was hurting. I got my balls cut, so I was hurting that day, right?
So wait, so your day was wake up, vasectomy, rest, comedy?
Comedy, yeah.
Nice.
And I was upstairs, and I was like, ooh, I was like a geriatric patient walking up these stairs, dude. And it was me and AJ, and AJ's he's a younger cat, but he's funny. So we
AJ Matthews?
Yeah, AJ Matthews.
Yeah, he's funny. He's good.
So we had to basically flip coin to see who went, and he was going to be a headliner. I was like, cool, works for me because I don't feel too well, but obligations. So I did my set, and it was just like this. And I should have known, dude. As soon as we walk in, this fucking fat gordita chick was like, "This is my first comedy show. Oh, I can't wait. This is my first comedy. I've never been to a comedy show. It's my first comedy show. I'm excited for. I'm gonna talk." I was like, "Oh God, dude."
She was saying that like as she was walking in,
like as if she was sitting at her table, and they were like having conversations. So I went in, and like people came to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like people, like I went on stage. I was like, "Yo, I just got a vasectomy today," and she was like, "That's fucking why? Do you hate kids?" I was like, "Yeah, that's why I got a vasectomy. I fucking hate kids, dude." She's like, "Wow, that's weird. Do you hate kids?" I was like, "You have kids?" She's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Well, where are they?" It's a Wednesday night. Hey kids, shouldn't you be with your kids? It's a school night. Fucking psycho. And that didn't go well. And I was just like, oh, damn it. I said, dude, I got my balls cut. This is the worst thing. I got my balls cut, and I'm getting heckled by this fat, gordita-ass bitch, dude. And the man she was with was wearing, like, this white Angels jersey. Or it might have been a Dodgers jersey. Well, I don't know. Something gang-related. Anyway, he was sitting there, and he, like, was, like, kind of laughing when I said this fat-ass gordita bitch. And he, like, and the whole face changed. And I went to Rio Grande. I know what that face looks like. And he's like, oh. And I saw it, and I was like, fuck, here it goes, dude. And so I start doing my set, and I see him get up and leave. And she's just like, not like, you suck. Say something funny, bro. And the people were like, be quiet. And people were like, tell the joke of, and I was like, oh, he wants to hear that joke. But there's just, the energy was all weird. Yeah. I got through it, and I made some ha-has. But she was just like, this guy's fucking, they talking. You suck.
Was no one there from the venue to just get her the fuck out?
Oh, yeah. I was like, DJ Animal, where the fuck are you, dude? And I was like, I kept saying, because he disappeared. Oh, she's like, oh, this is what you get when fucking your shows are free. God damn it, dude. DJ Animal, where the fuck are you? You can control your fans, dude. It sucks. You suck. She's like, you're not funny. I was like, and you're fat. I've been funnier and fat longer than you. Shut up, dude. I was so over it. I was not in the best mood. And after I got off stage, AJ went up next, and he got up and he's like, damn, you are mean as shit. She's like, you're already funnier than the first guy. And I walked over, and our other friend, K Shane, and K Shane's like this fucking 7-foot giant, big ass black dude, right? And I say that because people are typically scared of that, but luckily he's my friend. So I went over to him, and I saw her boyfriend come up, and this time he had a black hoodie on. Oh, and I was like, oh fuck! And I went over to K Shane. I was like, hey bro, I was like, this sounds so bitch. Normally I would handle it myself, but like I said, I just got to say, I'm hurting, I'm in pain. I was like, if this fool tries to snap, he's like, oh no, I got you, bro, I got your back. And I was like, thank God, dude. And so the boyfriend comes back, and I don't know, he said, AJ's on stage doing comedy. I'm sitting over here kind of watching them do their thing. And like midway through, the lady starts arguing with it, because I don't know what he said. I think he's like, I'm going to cause a problem, whatever. But she's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're not going to. And he like stood up, and she like pushed him, and she's like, stop. You need to stop. And AJ's like, what's going on? It's like, domestic violence happening over there? What's going on? And she was like, stop. Blah, blah, blah. And this like Hispanic fool from a different table, like next to where they were, starts heckling AJ. And he's like started speaking Spanish to him, and AJ's like, I don't speak Spanish, bro. And he's like, 24, 21. And he's like, oh my God, this dude's got like Mexican Tourette's or something. He's just yelling out random numbers. And he's like, I see you, boy. I see you. You want to go parking lot? You want to go to parking lot? And AJ's like, what the fuck? He's like, yo, we're just having fun. You want to fight me now? What the fuck's going on? Yeah, I see you, parking lot, man. I see you. Right? And just the most broken English. And I'm like, this is a Wiley show, dude. And like, while the dude's heckling him, this lady is like pushing her boyfriend, trying to get him down the stairs. And he like goes down one step, and I was like, oh, something's gonna happen. So I pull out my phone and I start filming. And like at one point, she's like pushing him, and he like I don't know if he. Side note. Next to this dude showed up like midway through my set. I'm talking, he was either a stripper or oil field worker. This dude was like jacked. He's like a jacked, tattooed covered, just jacked white dude. And he comes up, and he said he was from like Texas and shit. And I was like making dumb Texas jokes. And he's like, I was really funny. So he kind of looks over and sees this, like, her boyfriend like push her. I don't know if he hit her or pushed her. Yeah. But from where I was, it was hard to tell. But her head went back, and he jumps up, and the Hispanic fool who was heckling AJ, stands up and like tackle this dude down the stairs. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And I walk over, and they're just beating the fuck out of this guy, this chick's boyfriend, and they're jumping the shit out and beating the fuck out of this dude. And the whole time I'm down there like, yeah, this is why you don't heckle me. Yeah, the Dodgers suck, dude. You should have kept your mouth shut. Yeah, I'm such an instigator, dude. They're beating the fuck out of this dude, and nobody at Craft Republic is helping. They're just beating the shit out of this guy. They fight 3 times because they try to escort the one guy. They fight again at the door, and I go over, kind of catch the end of that one. And then while they finally get him out the door, they fight again outside. I didn't get that one, but I got like the ending of it, and it was a good time, dude. Yeah, Albuquerque's a crazy place for comedy, bro. Like, that's why you need a comedy club. That's why we have a Dry Heat, but we need a bigger comedy club, dude, where people can go for comedy. So we stop. You know what I'm saying? Guerrilla ambushing these people with our fucking terrible jokes. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I guess we're gonna laugh now, dude. Well, we need more successful comedians, dude.
Well, we're getting hyenas, right? Like March, April of next year.
Yeah, they've been saying that for like a year and a half ago. My friend from Denton sent me that. He's because that's where the other hyenas is, and I guess the owner's from here, and he sent in, like their group chat like, hey, I'm gonna open up a hyenas in Albuquerque. He sent that to me like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And I was like, no, probably about a year ago. That's like right when Dry Heat opened up, and I was like, hey, are we cool with this? Because like I'm Dry Heat till I die, but I want to work at bigger clubs. And they're like, that's a great thing. I was like, all right, cool. So hopefully we get it sooner than later because we need it, dude. But also we just need better comics, dude.
I wanted to ask you about that. Because you're seasoned in this and you're fucking good at it. and for my money, you're in top 4. Like, no fucking question. Okay. And your experience of being here, going on the road, experiencing other comedy communities. I mean, you just went to New York, right? And you were on Dave Attell's set. Did I see that right?
I did. I opened up for Dave Attell in Phoenix.
Yeah. Okay. What garnishes a good comedy community?
I think we have a good one here, man. And like we go to the other cities and shit, their scenes are so big, so it kind of gets like oversaturated, I guess. But even like a scene like Denver where it's like there's like 100 comedians. Like we have maybe 20, 22. So it's cool for us to be like supportive and I try to be supportive, especially the newer guys, because that's the older cats weren't that to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm also honest with them. And like I went to a show that was paid a couple weeks ago, and the opener was like, "How did I do?" And I was like, "Honestly, that was awful." And I'm telling you that not to be mean or hateful, but you know what it is. You felt it.
No, you need to heal. Yeah. You need to hear that. Though.
I was like, that was bad. You understand that, right? Like, you got to work on that and you know, I gave her some points. I'm like, this is what you did, and this is what I would have probably done differently, or maybe stop doing that altogether. Yeah. But again, it's not for me to say how you do your comedy, but it's just from what I observed, this is what I would have done. But you felt that right. I'm not being mean, because that's why you're asking me, how did I do? You did bad. I'm not going to baby coat it to you. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. You did awful. That was horrible.
Well, the last thing you need in any entertainment space is yes men.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you need is people that are just telling you, hey, you did, when you fucking do horrible. Hey, you did great. That was awesome. Do it again.
I tell people all the time when I was like, "Oh, you're funny. That was funny shit." Like I even open myself. I like that bit. What you said about whatever. I was like, that was good. I like that. There's something there. But also when you're bad, like I'm gonna tell you, if you come up, like, how'd I do? That was horrible. That was awful. And I'm telling you that. You know what I'm saying? Like not to like hurt your feelings with this. Just I mean the same thing with me. Like luckily my girlfriend, dude, she can do my set. And when I get off stage, everyone's like, "You crush. I was funny." I go to her. She's like, "That was awful. You fucked up."
She's also seen you at your best. Yeah. And she's seen you so many times that she sees the nuances now, I'd imagine.
Yeah. She knows all the things I miss. She knows all the things I kind of walk over. And she's in the audience, so she sees, oh, that didn't hit as hard as, you know, you said it the other way, whatever. It's good to have people critique you, I guess, you know? But at bigger scenes, it's just so hard because you have 100 people. It's so hard to, like, pick and you did well, whatever. And we have a very supportive older class. Like I think that's one thing me and Zach sort of, and even Buck does that. Like we just sort of not like too cool for school, I guess. You know, we still show up at shows. Bucky does it better than anyone. He gives love to like the newer cats who are starting out. You know what I'm saying?
He's been a mentor to me.
Yeah,
I've made sure to tell it to him privately, and I made sure to say it when he came on the pod last. Like
Buck does a lot of great things that I look up to as well. But he does that a lot. That's really good that I need to kind of work on is give more props to like newer cats. I do it when they ask me, but and even now like, I'm like, try to be more welcoming. You know what I'm saying? And not so like assholey. And I can be assholey off the bat. This is what my girl says. She's like, is he having fun? I was just. Yeah, this is my face sometimes, dude. I'm silly for like an hour a day, and then that's it, dude. Fucking no more silliness, dude. We need better comedians, bro. Do you know? Fun fact. It's a fun fact for everybody. Albuquerque has had more comedians murder people than have been on TV. That's a fact.
Jesus Christ.
What? We just had our second comedian commit murder, dude.
What the fuck? Okay, did this make any headline? Did I just who?
Yeah, dude. All right, he's an open mic. Well, so let me tell you the first one. The first one was like pre-pandemic shit. And this dude, he was a psycho from the jump, dude. And that's the thing about comedy. Comedy is just, if you want to do comedy, you can. Anybody can do comedy. You just show up at a pizzeria and you can get on.
You go to pizza night on Tuesdays.
Yeah, there was at the Slice Parlor on Central, there was a guy who pulled out a knife last week.
Oh, yes, that's what it is. Slice Parlor. Right.
So if you want to do comedy and you're a fucking psychopath, you can go to comedian open mics and just be a comedian, dude. That's the one thing that we have kind of going against us, right? So you get a lot of fucking psychos that go do comedy. And before the pandemic, there's some comedians who do it who have other jobs as well, so they can't really, like, I don't know how your situation is, but like you use your real name.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So there's some people who like own businesses, so they can't use their real name. Like Doug Peterson's bitch ass. That's his real name, you fucking cocksucker. So like some comedians will go and they'll use a fake name because they have a different business or a reputation. And this fool, I knew him as Nico the comic. He's a local dude from Albuquerque, and he was crazy from the jump. And he like during the pandemic, he went like super hardcore Republican, like, we're not wearing masks, they're controlling, whatever, dude. Whatever he views, whatever. But he was on the news doing that shit. You know?
Shit.
But like pre-pandemic, we used to have this open mic at the bowling alley, Silva Lanes, way there on the east side.
Yeah.
And so it was like bowling. It was like open mic comedy and then karaoke afterwards. And I had a show somewhere, and I remember I was like, I can probably get a quick little open mic spot in before. So I drove down there, and I just missed it. And they were doing karaoke, so I was like, fuck, I missed it, whatever. I'll sing What's Up. This fool was like on stage about to sing a song, and I was talking to the DJ, and he just turns around and he's like, fuck you, Josh. And I was like, shut the fuck up and try to sing a song. Everybody gonna. I was like, what the fuck's your deal, man? Everybody, fuck you, piece of shit. I'm trying to sing for my fucking mom. And I was like, are you being for real right now? Are you being serious? Like, what's going on? Are you joking? Or
so
are
the
you
guy
real?
singing is yelling
at me. Like mid-song, they're like, shut the fuck up, piece of shit. Like saying wild shit. And I was like, are you being for real right now? Like, are you joking or are you being for real? Like, are we being for real? And he's like, yeah, that's why you people have no fucking water, you fucking asshole.
Oh my God.
And I was like, he's like, it's my mom's birthday, you motherfucker. I'm trying to sing my mom a birthday song, you piece of shit. And I was like, my bad, bro. I was like, hey, we're like, and he's, hey, everybody, yeah, so have some respect, you motherfucker. Everybody, yeah. So I was like mid-song, dude. And after the song is over, he walks over like all kind of grumpy, and I stood up and I was like, hey, what the fuck's your deal, man? Are you being for real right now? And he's like, it's my mom's birthday. And I was like, where's your mom
How
at?
fucking toasted is this guy?
He's pretty hammered. And I was like, I'm sorry, dude. I was like, I didn't mean to. Where's your mom? I'll say I'm sorry to her personally. And she's like, she's not here. And I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Your mom's not even here, you fucking psycho. I was like, I'm out of here, dude. So I start walking out, and he follows me out to the parking lot. And I was like, dude, you follow me, I'm going to hit you. Don't come near me. I'm going to fucking hit you. And he's like, but you understand where you messed up, right? You understand how messed up that is? I was like, what are you talking? It's my mom's birthday, and I'm trying to sing her birthday song, and you're making jokes to your fucking friends. And I was like, dude, you're crazy. You're psycho. I'm telling to your face, you are out of your fucking, you are crazy. You're a crazy person. Your mom's not even here. She's not here, but still, like, I want to sing her happy birthday, and you're being an asshole about it. And I was like, fuck you and your mom. How about that? Suck my dick, you fucking psycho. Goodbye. I'm out of here. And I left, right? And then the pandemic happened, and he sort of went, like, super Republican, right? And, like, right as as we started doing shows again, the little comedian group chat that they have, they're like, oh, guess who ended up in the news? I guess his mom was like, he's pretty wealthy off too. I guess they owned land somewhere near like the Bosque or something. And if I remember the story correctly, they had a tenant living at one of their houses, and the mom was like, you need to evict him, where they had issues or whatever. So his mom told this dude Nico to kill this guy, and he did. He like, hey, can you go help me fix like this fence line or whatever? The guy got in the truck with him, and he murdered him, dude, here in Albuquerque. And then, like, left the body on their land. And so the cops came and arrested him. And then he's like, my mom told me to do that shit. And so they arrested the mom, too.
What's the main guy at a psycho? Bates. Some Norman Bates shit,
dude. And that's why I was like, well, I'm glad you didn't get to sing your mom a happy birthday song, you fucking psychopath, dude. That's Albuquerque comedy, dude. And you'd think that's crazy enough, right? No, we had another one recently, dude. So we had another one, and this dude, I don't even know his real name. He was just, again, another comedian who would go to all the shows. He's been at shows. He's done shows. I've seen him at open mics, like, recently. And I knew, I already knew he was psycho because he went to this comedian, and I don't ever go hang out with comedians afterwards, really, unless I like know, like if it's like Zach or Buck or whatever. But like the younger cats, I don't really go hang out with. But one time, a girl, she's really nice with all of them, so we went to one of their houses, and he shows up and he just starts going crazy and like, yo, you gotta go, bro. And he like is standing by he's like holding onto the door, like making a big old scene, like screaming at this dude's apartment complex. I'm not fucking leaving. And so like Tyler, I don't know if you know Tyler Lovely.
I know of him.
Yeah. So like Tyler like pushed him and they started getting all crazy and he did like, I'll fucking kill you, I'll beat your ass. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be the voice of reason. I'm gonna go separate them and break them up and I'm gonna end this. So I walk outside. And like Tyler's like, I'll fucking beat your ass. And this he's like, do something, motherfucker. So I told Tyler, go inside, bro, chill. And I look at it, I was like, dude, just go, bro. Like nobody wants you here. You're causing a scene. You're like, we don't even live here.
What was
like,
this guy's like stage name?
His name's Cruz. I don't remember his last name. Cruz.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, yo, you gotta just go. You're gonna cause problems. It's like, this isn't even our house. This is so and so's house. You're making a scene here. You're making it hard for him, dude. Just go. Just leave. You're making it. This is all unnecessary. You just need to go, bro. Like, nobody wants you here. And he's like, fuck you, Josh. The only reason they hang out with you is because you do drugs with them. I was like, I don't do drugs, dude. He's like, you're a fucking liar, bro. They wouldn't hang out with you if you didn't buy cocaine from them. And I was like, dude, I don't do drugs. I'm not a drug head, dude. What are you talking about? So, yeah, you are. I know you fucking do drugs. Don't lie to me. And he kept like reaching behind his belt loop. And I was like, is you gonna stab me or something? And I was like, what are you reaching for? He's like, yeah. I was like, dude, you need to go. And he's like, make me leave. Make me. And he like kept like touching the back of his shirt. And I was like, I think he might have a gun or a knife or something. I was like, what, are you going to fucking stab me then? You fucking crazy ass? So I walk inside. I grab the screwdriver, and I was like, oh, I'm going to stab this dude before he stabs me. And I walk outside. I'm like, you need to go, bro. And he's like, won't you make me then? And I saw him like pick up and dig. And I was like, oh, he's going to pull out a knife, dude. So I ran over, and I grabbed him, and I like threw him. And he flew.
He just ragdolled his ass.
I didn't think he was that light. He was a little bit, and like I picked, boom, and I threw him, and I pulled out the screw. This is all for funsies. I don't ever pull weapons, by the way. I'm a comedian. I'm a comic. I don't ever do stuff like this, dude. This is all for fun. This is all silliness. Ha ha ha. I'm a comic here, all right? So I pull out the screwdriver, allegedly. And I was like, so what you gonna do? You gonna fucking stab me? Let's go, bitch. I'll fucking poke you. And then he's like, it's real fucked up, Josh. It's real fucked up. And then he left. He just turned around and walked away. And my girlfriend was like, you need to go inside. You're acting crazy too. And I was like, so of course, I'll try to be a voice of reason. I'm the one pulling out fucking screwed craftsman utensils on human beings, dude. And I was like, that dude's crazy, right? And you say that dude's crazy. And then like literally like a couple months after that, dude, in a group chat, what happened? Sure enough, same shit. He went to his dad's house somewhere in the north side. He went to his dad's house and I guess like argued with his dad, like in the streets. And apparently the neighbors were like, that's normal. That's what they do. They argue all the time. And I guess he went back inside while his dad was sleeping and killed him. Like stabbed him and like the gruesome details. Yeah. Like cut his tongue out and shit like that.
Jesus.
Like, it was insane shit. Insane shit, dude. And then like left on the run. And I think one of the neighbors saw, so they called the police. And he like went on the run, like disappeared. And I guess he like caught a ride. He hitchhiked, and the guy was driving him out of Albuquerque. But then like he got like this weird conscious thing where he's like, I can't run away. I got to turn myself in. So the guy dropped him off at like the Route 66 casino, like gas station.
Yeah.
He dropped him off right there, and he called the cops and turned himself in.
Jesus
Christ.
Like,
dude, that's a crazy story, but could you imagine being the guy who picked him up? Hey, can you give me a ride? Yeah, shoot, get in. Yeah, how's your day been going? It's been a rough one, dude. It's been a day, let me tell you. That's just not. I understand, dude. I had a day too, dude. So yeah, we need more comedians, dude, who are good. Fucking murdering people.
Jesus Christ.
That's Albuquerque comedy. When people are like, what is comedians in Albuquerque? Like, well, a lot of us kill on stage and some of us kill for real. So there's that. That's just Albuquerque shit, dude.
Good fucking
when your city has a memorial for a fucking Iron Man statue, you know, shit is not good. Like he was he was somebody's fucking Tio, bro. Like they had a fucking vigil for this dude. It's crazy, bro. We need heroes.
We can't have anything fun.
We have no heroes, dude. So they put Walter White and Jesse inside, dude. They can lock the doors. Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
Albuquerque comedy.
That is fucking hilarious. So, and I know this is a very like arbitrary question. I know that there's a lot of different definitions for different people, but where can someone start like claiming themselves like, hey, I'm a comedian now? Like, what's that rite of passage look like? What is that like ability?
Know, I think it's different for everyone, but for me to be considered a comic, like you have to do a show. You have to get on stage first of all, and you have to like bomb, and you also have to crush. If you can crush like at a real audience, like you're a comic to me. You bomb in front. Like that's one like big thing. Like it's one thing you perform for your people. Like there's a lot of native comedians who only perform for natives. There's a lot of, you know, gay LGBTQ plus people who only perform for their people and they crush every time.
Right.
And that's dope. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Hispanic fools who do the George Lopez shit to death. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of El Paso cats who like they're George Lopez cutouts. Funny, I love George Lopez. He's hilarious, but they only do that for like Hispanic fools.
Right.
And it's so funny when you put them on shows. It's like for a different audience and see how much they fucking crumble.
Yeah. Well, I'd imagine if you're gonna be a comedian and you want to make it big and be great at it, you can't just tour in certain parts of it. The goal is to be able to go anywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, everywhere. I mean, that's my goal. So for me, I just have higher, like if you to be considered a comedian, you have to be able to crush in like any room, anywhere. That's when they like, you know, I keep going back to me and Zach, but that's like the first. Buck D used to have this wild room, dude, here in the city, and he still kind of, when they do their kind of shows, they still sort of bring back that essence. But that room was unreal. That Nexus barbecue room.
He's told me about that.
Unreal. It was literally like Showtime at the Apollo at this fucking little barbecue spot, dude. And Zach was like the first one to do it because like Zach will go do comedy anywhere. You know, he's not really a Hispanic comic. You know, he's not really like Lowriders and fucking Tio and Tres Flores, but he's a comic. You know, he can crush anywhere. So he was the first one to like do Buck D's show and do well. And then I started doing it. And when I saw people get booed, I was like, oh my God, dude, they're going to boo me because you're always like self-conscious. But yeah, I think to be like a real comic, you have to be able to perform. Like me and Zach did shows for police officers, like a police rally thing.
Oh, shit.
And he was like, I smoke weed. And this was before weed was legal. And he's like, but we're here. I did a Trump rally. We did a EDC dance EDM festival in the forest in Colorado.
What the fuck?
Yeah, we did comedy. Like we're over there like telling jokes and like 100 feet that way some dudes Zach had to follow like nude fucking dancing trope people who like nude ballet.
What was the show that you did? It was out of state, but all I saw on your Instagram,
the kink show,
yes, for motherfuckers getting tied up.
Yeah,
one picture is of you with the mic doing your thing, and then the next one is some person tied up and you're spanking them.
Yeah, okay, so I could see how gay that sounds. And if you are, that's whatever, dude. I'm not. And I got a lot of like essay homies who were like, bro, what the fuck is that about, dude? I'm like, it's a show. It's not me. It's called the Comedy and Kink Show. It's run by Chris Wellerman. He's out of Denver, Colorado. He's a cool cat. Super dope, dude. And he puts on a great show. And it's just a cool concept, dude, of like kink and comedy. And it's such a good concept because the kink gets people there. You know what I'm saying? If it was just a comedy
it's
show,
the weird factor.
Yeah.
It's the what if.
So like, and luckily, like I said, my girl's really into stuff like that. She's really into Shabbat, whatever the fuck it's called, where you get tied up and shit. She's in that kink world. Yeah.
Okay.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
So I've been.
Well, if your comedy tells us anything.
Yeah. Dude. So I've been I've been dabbling in it. I've gone to like events and shit like that. So it was cool. I had like a weird little insight into that world. So I saw he do those shows and I saw they were fucking packed every time. Packed. And I was like,
how many people do you think were sitting in that room?
Like 80.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a packed room. And you have to like sign up beforehand. You can't just show up and buy a ticket. You have to like it's an exclusive show, so it works out really well. They have like a lineup of like 5 comics, and there's like two, maybe six, but there's like two separate. Like the first one, there's two rope performers. The next one is two rope performers. So like I was headlining the first section, and those are my performers, that girl and that dude, where they're just getting tied up. And it's a fun room, but you can still run bits. But like I think like the funniest part is just how to address how weird the whole show is.
I'd imagine it's got to be the improv.
It's so wild because you have like 50 people staring at you because there's seats, but there's also people sitting up on top of the rafters and like the upstairs area on the couches to the side. But it's a weird thing to see 50 people looking at you and also like just nobody paying attention to you. And then you still tell jokes and then they go back to you and then like, oh, they go back and they're like, yeah, okay. And you're like, oh, they're not going to pay attention. So you just have to address how weird this shit is. Like I told that girl, the guy was like, if you can make the performers laugh, you know you're funny. I called her like wired headphones. It's like, Jesus, you look like wired headphones when I take them out of my pocket, dude. Look at you all tangled up and shit. You look like Clayton right before he got hung in Tarzan, dude. He's fucking all tied up, dude. It was a good time, dude. It was cool. My performers were dope. And then after I headlined, the next group of performers go up. And our other friend, Josh Emerson, he's the other Navajo comedian in Denver. His performer was like a dude who's getting tied up. And his thing was like, he likes to get tied up and like beat. You know, so like they gave him like a stick to like hit, but not hard. You can't just beat the fuck out of this guy. Yeah. But he's a jacked cub, I guess. I don't know the term for it, right? So this dude is like getting hit while Josh is telling jokes, and he's like, "This is so crazy. This is my wildest dream. I'm Navajo, and I get to whoop a white man." This is wild. And he starts hitting this dude. He looks over and I'm laughing because he's like, this is my ancestors' wildest dream. He looks over at me. He's like, you want to get out of this, Josh? And I was like, fuck yeah, I want to get in on this, dude. He's like, come over here. I walk over. He's like, can I hit you? And he's like, yeah. So I grab the thing. He's like, how hard? He's like, as hard as you want. So I wind up like I'm fucking, it's like it's a T-ball thing. And those are those pictures. I'm like, fuck. Whack! And I was like, this is for my grandpa or my grandma who had to go to boarding school. Whack! This is for my people who don't have water on the reservation. Whack! So it looks super gay, but what I was doing is raising awareness for the troubles my people are going through, so I could see how people look at that and they're like, "Oh, Josh is gay." No, dude, I'm raising awareness is what I'm doing, dude.
That is fucking
while
great.
Supporting kink, dude. Don't kink shame, you fucking hate mongers. But that's what that picture was, and that picture was too good to be like,
no, yeah, you have to put that shit up.
I was like, dude, I literally screamed out, this is for my grandma who got chained at boarding schools when she was a kid. Whack. This is for my grandpa who doesn't have water right now. Whack. Yeah, it was a good time. It was one of those ones where like, damn, I'll never be able to get to do this again. Just a native tell jokes and beat the fuck out of a white dude. And people like applaud you for it. It was a good time. Felt good.
It's a beautiful time to live in 2023. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, that's fucking great.
Comedy and kink, dude. And you know, comedy shows are dope, but when those weird one-off shows work like that, it's so much fun, dude.
What do you like when you do those kind of like out of the box type stuff, or you're in a weird room? Like, does your brain go into a mode where it's like, okay, what can I learn from this? Where can I take this to other shows? What can I extrapolate from this?
Like crowd work or improv in general. Like, you know, so like some of my bits I got just from riffing. That Amory used to have a show in Inside Out where it was like you do an hour Inside Out.
Yeah. And
it was such a weird show. I just riffed for like 45 minutes and it was a lot of fun.
I was there for that when you went there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I called the lady Gay Snake.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah.
She had like rainbow colored snakeskin boots. So look at this gay rattler right here, dude. You never know what you're gonna get downtown. I called the bartender Human Coloring Book.
Yeah.
I've seen her since. She hasn't talked to me. I don't think she liked that one. So, but you tell me, dude. You got the one that got colored on, dude. Yeah. Sometimes like riffing, just you know, you come up with new ideas. I guess sometimes. And
do you? I imagine it depends on the show, but do you like set time apart to where it's like, okay, I've got 45 minutes to work with. I'm going to use this much for material, and I'm going to dedicate this much to crowd work.
So no, I think if you dedicate time for crowd work, it just does come off as inorganic.
Because you're like, I've noticed that. It's funny you say that. Because it's like, it's like the comedian that makes a point to do crowd work. It's like they're searching for it.
Yeah. And I've done it sometimes. Like, what do you do, man? But it has to be organic. You can't just go off and like, all right, I'm just crowd work. If I'm especially because I don't really get to open as much anymore. But like when I'm doing like feature or even drop-in sets. Like, drop-in sets are free. You just drop in, do a quick set. Like, if I notice some shit earlier, I'll address it. And that's, like, one of the weird things is that's what makes comedy dope is because it's a shared experience. You know what I'm saying? That's why online is cool. You can watch your clips. But being there live is just so different because it's a shared experience. So, like, when I notice something weird, I'm like, I know I noticed that. The audience probably did, too. So I'll go on stage and be like, how fucking weird was that, dude? And they're like, yeah. And you're like, this guy's over here blowing balloons. Like, deep-throating balloons? What the fuck? And you just address how weird because everyone knows, the audience knows like how weird shit is,
right? And
so like sometimes they don't want to say, but if you go on there like, how fucking weird is that dude, huh? They're like, yeah, and it's a cool shared experience, and then you can riff off of that. So it has to happen so organically. You can't just be like, this is what I'm going to talk about. I guess I'm going to set time aside for this. So I usually write out my set list depending on how much time I have, and sometimes I go long on some bits. Like there's a bit I have about hunting that is like a 10-minute bit, and I could do all 10 minutes of it. But if I'm towards the end, I have to kind of cut it short to like 2 minutes or whatever. Just try to wrap it up whenever you can, or find a good ending spot. But yeah, like I do write out a set list beforehand, just like bullet points of this bit, that bit, this bit, that bit, and I should fill 10 minutes. But if I go on stage and shit happens or something weird happened, let me touch on it, and it ends up taking like 5 minutes. You're like, oh, dude, well then I'm just gonna fucking go to the closer. So I don't know. It's I don't really set time aside for like crowd work. It just has to happen organically.
Right.
Like crowd work, improv shit. But those are often the times where like you get good clips happening. Like one of the clips I did about like Wokahanis, like how racist it was. That was at Dry Heat because it was a room full of like whites and Hispanics and like one black family. And I was like, is it racist they threw a black chick in water? Nobody laughed, but the black people were like, yeah, we felt that. I was like, all right, is that weird? Because I thought that was racist as shit, right? And then once like the black family laughed, everyone's like, all right, we can laugh now too. I was like, it's a shared experience, dude. We're not here to fucking cancel anybody, dude.
So that's a very good point. What I was gonna bring up next is you're super like charismatic. You're very relatable on stage. Is that ability something you had to work on? Mm-hmm. Like something you really had to like consciously like fine tune and maybe actually actively chisel against? Yeah, because when you see me outside of here, dude, I'm not likable. I have like I don't know, angry face, I guess, dude. I look like the back of a buffalo nickel, just like. So people have told me, you look so mean, you look mad, you look angry. I'm just hanging out, dude. Yeah. Maybe I don't want to talk to you. You're boring. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just know you're boring, dude. You have to, especially the crazy shit I talk about, you have to be charismatic and to be able to sell it. You can't just, because if I just said that shit straight up, it would sound like a hate speech for real. Like, it'd be like for a while, for like 2 weeks, I was like a gay Republican. I came out for like 2 weeks. Nobody believed me, but it was funny. Like, I was saying, like, wild shit on stage. Like, I only bless myself with eagle feathers from the right wing. But if I just say that shit straight up, it sounds so mean and hate-mongery. And I'm like, yeah, like, I'm going to start a gay militia, dude. Like, we're going to protest, but we're going to show up with the AR-15s. But our clips are going to be fucking bedazzled. You know what I'm saying? Like, our vests are going to have patches on it. Like, you're going to have a Punisher? No, we're going to have rainbows, dude. Fuck you. Is that, like, something... Is that just came with time, like doing more mics, getting more spots? So you're finding your voice in that way? Finding your voice, a lot of times people like to sometimes pander to the audience. Like if you're doing a block room, you want to, damn, dude, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But like I say, you know what I'm saying, a lot in my personal life. Right. It doesn't come off as like, but you see some comics where they really try to hood it up when they do these hood shows. Like, damn, this bitch was talking crazy to me. Like, you don't talk like that in your real life. What the fuck are you doing? Who is this character, dude? Yeah. You do like, you know what I'm saying? Like my homies in Phoenix, they do like a lot of like SA Cholo rooms. And he come there like, damn, fool, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I say fool because I, grew up here in South Valley. But it doesn't sound, it seems like you're forcing it. Like and then you do your material based on like the audience, right? Where it's like, no, I'm gonna do my material because I want you to learn about me. I'm not trying to And that brings the authenticity part of it.
Yeah,
and I think I would say obviously there's exceptions to every rule, but 95% of people, they can pick up on whether or not you're bullshitting them. Like, obviously, there's a level of bullshit you're accepting when you go to a comedy show. Like, obviously.
Yeah.
But when it's this, like, it's like a caricature of yourself.
Yeah, the audience can feel that. They can accept exaggerations, but they can't accept fully lies. Like, the audience can feel, because you're not selling it well. You're like, you're lying.
Starting to get hacky. Yeah. Start to get like, okay, this is not who you are.
Yeah.
This is some character you think is funny.
It's so funny because it's no more prevalent than in like black rooms, like black rooms, like hood rooms.
Yeah.
They're the ones who let you know when you're not funny. And they're when you make them laugh though, it feels good, but they can see through bullshit really well. These like Durango, it's like super progressive. You could feed them anything and they'll eat it. It's a good time. But I think it's good for you to get out in front of some of these audiences who won't hand feed you laughs. You have to earn it. So
get out in front of people that don't look like you.
Yeah, don't
have the same lifestyles.
And plus, they're more willing to listen, especially like what's this guy about, you know? And I have a unique angle because of Native, so that's where that comes from. That lady was like, I hate sex jokes. But when you tell them, it's unique, and I'll listen, and it's funny.
You should bring your own life experience into it.
Yeah. And just storytelling. It's more than the jokes. I sometimes I do topical material, but I mean everyone does topical material, so it just sort of gets repetitive. Like, oh, Trump's going to jail.
Right.
The submarine thing was wild, dude. Everyone had a submarine joke. But
my stupid ass had a submarine joke.
I did too, dude. Mine was dumb as fuck. They were all dumb as fuck.
Yeah,
they were all stupid. Like mine was, but had a Native twist. Was like, you don't go there. You don't go where dead people go. That's what Native people say. But like the punchline was like, do you think the guy was after the Blink-182 concert? He came out. He's like, where are you? So stupid. Such a dumb joke.
So what is it? What are the differences in playing in front of predominantly Native crowds?
I don't really get to. I rarely perform in front of natives.
Really?
Yeah. I started here in the city. I started more in like Hispanic rooms and
okay.
Even my homie, when he booked me in Phoenix, he's like, yo, it's like a lowrider club. I was like, I got it, dude. And I smashed. I don't really get to do, because like the Native comedy scene is so fucking different. It's different. Like I struggle in those because it's not as advanced. I don't know. That sounds fucked up too. They don't get good jokes, dude. They want dumb. It's regional humor. Like they want to hear
comedy that like is specifically about their community, their culture,
their shared experiences. They don't give a fuck about your experience. They want like every Native comic has a hot Cheetos, hot pickles, hickeys, basketball shorts at the grocery stores. Stuff like every comedian has that, dude, and it's very, very animated. Also the same, like, yeah, you're gonna hook up at the country concert later. That don't hit outside of the comedy, outside of the res, but a lot of these res comics, they want to do, like a lot of res comics I kind of grew up like not looking up to, but seeing and how hard they smash, and to this day, bro, they fucking sell out, dude. They sell out casinos, like 15,000 seats. They sell out, you know, but their material only works there if they brought it. I've brought Native comics to like Dry Heat and they've bombed, and it's just because all their jokes are geared towards those people, like Native people. They're not really geared towards everyone, and that's why I call it the Fry Bread Trail. Like Native comics, they only do like Native casinos and shit. And they only perform for those people on the Fry Bread Trail. But they come out and they always ask me the same shit. Like, how do you get in these comedy clubs? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I barely get into them. But again, it goes back to like, you need to be funny for everyone, not just your own people. I get it though. They make their money, bro. Like one chick just got canceled this last weekend. She charged like $15,000 for an appearance, and there's Native comedy's so different, dude. It's so different. So I don't really get to perform. I have Native jokes that if I told, they don't hit in comedy clubs either. Like that would never hit here. Like,
interesting.
Like one of the, like when I got throwaways, like Indian names are weird. So I was thought like Natives, like you have to be born a black cloud. You can't become a black cloud. You have to be born running buffalo. You can't be, made a running buffalo. So growing up, I thought my grandma gave me an Indian name. I thought for the longest time my name growing up was Chidi Yezer. You know,
it was what?
Chidi Yezer.
Oh yeah.
So you don't know what that is, but on the Navajo side, bro, they fucking what the fuck?
Yeah.
It just translates to like little shit.
Oh, okay.
And so like I'd act out like, how go, Chidi Yezer, how go, and like, come here, you little shit. And, like that's how my grandma talks. And they were like, oh shit. Oh, like, yeah, date a real native chick who has hairy arms and hot Cheeto fingers. And people are like, oh, shit. Yeah, just it's, like, very hacky.
Yeah.
Quick. Just, yeah, it's different, dude. You go, if you watch Native, like, I've showed, like, Zach and people, like, Native comedy. You're like, what the fuck is this, dude? It's bad. It's open mic comedy's a little bit better. But for those people, it's funny, man. For those, like, my aunts and shit, they love it.
It's in their purview.
They love it. They laugh so hard. It's wild to see. They'll put on, like, now it's a CD player, but they'll still sit at our get-togethers in the living room, put the CD in, and listen to this like Navajo comedian, and it's just talks about boarding school and Navajo joke, and he still makes sexual like innuendos, but very very innuendo-y.
Yeah, like, it's not on the nose like sex comedy or dirty comedy.
Like you won't go down in your girlfriend or in your wife, but you'll eat. You won't go down on your girl, but you'll eat a chi, which is the sheep asshole. Oh. But it's very in Navajo. It sounds way funnier. Like, you won't do that, but you'll do that. Like,
right.
Yeah. You'll suck on her neck, but not suck out crystals from her hip, which is like a Navajo medicine man joke.
Oh, okay.
It's like this. Yeah. They suck out stuff from your hip.
See,
it doesn't work. Yeah. But they're like, oh shit, or I'm gonna go full medicine man and pull crystals from your. You know what I'm saying? Like, just shit like that. And I can make those jokes towards that audience, but they'll never work out here. So yeah, shared experiences. But I guess it's the whole Hispanic thing as well. So a lot of like new Hispanic comics do like the George Lopez.
Yeah.
Damn fool. You know what I'm saying? You ever have to like wash your mouth out fabuloso? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And it's like I get it, but damn, that's very very.
Well, that was the whole. Now, granted, we all know now that he was stealing a fuck ton of jokes, but that was the whole Mencia thing.
Mencia, he's still funny.
Yeah,
I saw him when he came here. He's still like he did 3 hours of comedy. I couldn't even sit through it all.
But he did 3 hours,
dude.
Jesus.
Like we were like, all right. By hour 2, we're like, this is wild. He's still going. And then
Zach got to open for him, right?
Yeah, that's why we went. And also, I was a huge Mencia fan too growing up. Mine and Mencia. And I get it, he's a joke thief, but it felt good to hear him do the act retarded. It was still funny to me, dude. I still giggled.
So for people that haven't been to Dry Heat, I've been a couple of times, and it is a tiny, tiny room, but it's cool.
It's a small It's very intimate. That's what I dig about it. Very, very intimate. I like those. Like I said, I've done the intimate venues, and I've done like the 2,000 seaters. You know what I'm saying? But the intimate venues, so much. You just have fun, dude. You can just have fun.
And again, for like people that have been there, it's literally like there's the stage, the mic, and then shorter than spitting distance, front row.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what as a comedian that's been there more than a few times, like what are you learning when you do crowds like that? When you do like more intimate shows?
I don't really learn much. I think I have more fun with them because like they're right there. Like you can get instant feedback. I can see your face and how like you're reacting or like like what's we're like bigger, even like bigger comedy clubs. It's so dark and they're kind of far. The intimate rooms are fun. Instant feedback. You can have a little bit loosey goosey because everyone knows what it is. I'm not sure I learn anything from these shows. They're just really fun to do, like intimate rooms.
Because I went there once. I've only been there one time for a show, unfortunately. But it was during the opening weekend. It was during Bucks night, and then I went a couple of weeks ago because Steph has his Sunday like class there.
Church, the writing session.
Yeah, I went there for that, and that was my first time ever being on that stage. Yeah. Like, and I never like experienced how like a stage in general.
Yeah,
like the only real stage I've ever been on was for a fucking bodybuilding show beginning of last year, and that's so fucking different, And everyone was so far away, you can't see shit.
Yeah,
you don't know what the fuck is going on. But like stepping on that and realizing how close those seats were.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Is that intimidating?
Fuck yeah, it was. And there was like maybe 8 to 12 people in that room, just all going, and it was funny. I'm very glad I experienced it. the class he was giving that day was on hecklers. And so I showed up, and I was the last person he put up there, and he was like, all right, you've got 2 minutes, do a bit, and you're going to have a heckler. I was like, all right. So I'm nervous as fuck anyway. And so I get up there, and I get like maybe 15 seconds into my bit, and Steph is my heckler. And that motherfucker tore me apart. He tore me apart. I forgot my fucking bit. Yeah. I forgot all of it. And but getting through that, I was like, okay, like that. Like I'm glad I experienced like some of the worst like heckling that moment could offer.
Yeah,
because he was just fucking.
It won't get much worse than that, I don't think.
It was fucking going in. Like I had a part of my thing was like I said something stupid. Like about like working out or something, and I hear from the back, doesn't look like it, and I was like, "Fuck, oh, fuck, man." And then there was, I forget the girl's name that was in the crowd, but I had a bit about my ex, and she it was technically I guess a heckle, but she said something. She looks at me like dead in the eyes, and she goes, "Did you love her?" And I was like, fuck, like I'm already getting torn apart. I'm nervous as fuck, sweaty as shit, and that was like that really fucked with me mentally. But then like I got off of it, got through it. I was like, hey, like that's okay. I've been fucking heckled. It ends. Okay, I really have to fucking study and write better shit. Yeah, so I can handle that better.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that was.
I've always just grown up shit talking. Yeah, it's just normal. You have to fucking be quick and attack what they look like, and then go from there, or who they're with by themselves. I don't know. That's what happens when you don't get pussy. Or...
No, it was just because I've grown up that like with my boys. That's how it is. But like I need that's something I know about myself is that I need more stage time, and I need to go to open mics more and deal with that shit practice. More. Because I enjoy doing it fucking thoroughly. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet. Yeah, like, I grew up loving stand up. Yeah, but I haven't figured out why I enjoy it, even when it's like because I went to Red Door a few weeks ago, and I made the mistake of having a couple too many drinks in me before I went up and did my set, and I missed like fucking 3 tags. I started something with a fucking punch.
Something I would avoid is getting higher smoking before. I've done it maybe once or twice, and it definitely affects. I'm trying to give a good performance, even at an open mic, dude. I remember one time Zach got me barbecued for an open mic, and it was just awful. And I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah. Well, because I remember just getting done, put the mic back up on the stand, and I sat down like, fuck.
That's what open mics are for, bro. Like, go there, the bomb. Like, I'm going to try to get on stage tonight at the open mic and just run some shit. And if it bombs, whatever, dude. It's just an open mic.
What's the Tuesday one? Is that Slice Parlor? Slice Parlor? Fuck yeah. All right, man. Well, this was
fun.
I
like your studio.
Thank you very much. I'm glad. I'm very thankful to have you down here. Finally, you've been on my list of people. Like, okay, I'm gonna get better at podcasting. I'm gonna get deeper into this more. I'm gonna do this a lot more. And I want to get Josh on because he's fucking hilarious.
This is a good time. Slow start, but we got to it. You heard about some murderers, bro. That's gonna be the clip. Promo clip.
Do you have any like shows coming up?
Dude, I got a bunch of shows coming up. If you've never been to the Dry Heat show, come this weekend, this Saturday. Zach Abeda and friends at 7:30 and 9. We're doing 2 shows this weekend at Dry Heat. Friday, I'm at Tumble Root in Santa Fe. Next week's my birthday, so we're gonna be in Phoenix.
Fuck yeah!
My girlfriend got me Metallica tickets.
So good shit.
Right there in the pit, dude. I'm gonna get in it.
Damn, that's gonna be a hell of a show, man.
It sucks because they don't have single day. You have to buy 2 days now, so I have to be there Friday and Sunday. But I'm hoping to do some time somewhere in the city of Phoenix on Saturday. But if not, at least go watch a show. I got a bunch of shows coming up. Any shows, just go to joshfournier.com, dude. It has all my dates and all my that's my website. It has my merch up there as well. But yeah, Josh Fournier. We update it every week. Oh shit! Yes, here we go. On the 30th, I'm gonna be doing the show at Bourbon and Boots. It's a competition. If you could, I don't know when this drops.
This will be out on Monday.
Okay.
Yes.
So yes, if you're in the area of downtown on the August 30th, come through to the Bourbon and Boots and help me win. I think he said $500.
Hell yeah.
I'm only doing 2 minutes though, so that's easy work. October 3rd, I'm in Phoenix for the Homie Time show in Phoenix, Arizona. I think it's a stand up live, or no, not stand up live. One of the clubs down there. It's on my website. October 6th and 7th, I'm opening for Baby Bash in Las Cruces and El Paso with Buck D and all them good guys. October 12th, Into the Mountain Gods with Zaka Beta. October 14th, I'm at Moon Landing. It's a van life event in Rama, New Mexico. It's in the middle of nowhere. If you can come, if you want, but it's, get it. It's in the middle of nowhere, and it's just for fucking nomad people, but they pay a lot of money. October 28th, I'm in El Paso. What the fuck do I have in El Paso? I have something in El Paso on October 28th. And then November 3rd, homie time here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. But
busy man.
More days, dude. Trying to fucking finish out the year strong. Yeah, dude. Hopefully be back in New York in December.
Fuck yeah, man.
Thanks so much, dude. This is fun.
Dude, this has been a blast. Congrats on everything.
Thanks, man.
Keep killing it.
This is dope. I like the setup, and I can't wait to listen to this back.
Hell yeah, buddy. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time.
Cool.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.